Ladies, welcome. My name is Zoe. I'm your menopause coach, and I'm going to talk to you today about the survival to revival method, which is helping women overcome their symptoms of menopause: weight gain, anxiety, fatigue, self-doubt. And I've encapsulated it all in a menopause masterclass for you. So there is lots and lots we're going to learn today. And I'm not gonna have you on. I am proud of my survival to revival method and program. It is helping women all over the world, so I want to help you, whether that's through the presentation of this or by you deciding at the end of this that you want to jump on board. So let's see what we're going to discuss. Today, we're going to go through the 3 stages of menopause, what they are, what they mean, menopause symptoms, the impacts and risks of those symptoms to your health and well-being. We're going to do some menopause myth busting. We're going to break the symptom cycle, which I'm sure will be familiar with all of you. And I'm going to teach you how to take back control of your mindset and your body through nutrition, movement, and all good mindset tips. Let's go. So those of you that don't know me, I'm Zoe, as I said, your menopause coach, and I'm on a mission to be the champion for all women in menopause, providing that practical and emotional support that you are not getting from anywhere else. You're not getting it from your GP, you're not getting it from your partners, your friends, your family. I'm there to provide that for you and to show you how simple it can be to overcome the weight gain, anxiety, self-doubt and fatigue. With my clients, I do this through bespoke one-to-one confidential coaching. And the ladies that I coach, they go on to have incredible, successful careers. They get back on track with that, and their relationships pick up 100%. And most importantly, I see them regain their self-worth. So a bit about me. I have over 20 years in business leadership management, mentoring, coaching across all different sectors. I'm a fully qualified menopause specialist. I only work with women in menopause. That's my thing. That's my passion. I'm a nutritionist, personal trainer, a behaviour management specialist, particularly in disordered eating. What that means is that predominantly I work with women who have a really for whatever reason, unhealthy relationship with food, their bodies, their mindset around dieting, usually because they've been on and off diets their whole life and been given really poor advice, or it's very, very deep. And if you're struggling with that, you will know about that. What's different about me is I am perimenopausal myself, so I get where you are right now. I have been there completely. I started my symptoms when I was about 35. Started out as just felt exhausted. I was a runner. People were telling me that it was because I needed to do this, that, and the other in the gym. I ended up really injuring my back just through listening to other people, thinking they knew what was better for my body than I did. No help whatsoever from general practice. My whole life I've been fobbed off by them. I've had all sorts of women's health, but that's what's made me really passionate about it and really wanting to help women like you reclaim their bodies, understand their bodies, and to be able to go into their GP surgeries and say, actually, I know what's wrong with me and I just want to know what you've got that's going to support me. I do still retain a directorship role within the NHS, and that helps me keep my ear to the ground so I know what's going on, so that I can better inform women like you, so you know what's available to you and you know your rights. And my clients get life-changing results. It's there. All of them. So lots of ladies come to me, they're either predominantly struggling with their weight gain, and that has having a massive impact on their other symptoms, their fatigue, insomnia, their that leads to cravings, emotional eating, self-sabotage. All of these are linked, and I work with these ladies to really unpick it and see what's holding them back from being able to successfully lose weight, overcome their fatigue, and get back to being them. So you can see there, they usually, when I work with women, they've tried everything else. They've tried every diet. They've been banging on their GP's door. They've dabbled with HRT. They may even still be on HRT, but they feel that nothing is working for them anymore. And I work with them usually over a 6-month period to show them that change is possible and they can overcome their symptoms, but there is a process that needs to be followed. And the key element of that, of which you'll see through all my testimonials, is the ability to like yourself a little bit and start implementing some self-care and patience with yourself. So there are 3 stages of menopause. There is the perimenopause, which is the lead up to it, where your female sex hormones are going all over the place. You've got estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. They are all declining, but they are declining at different rates, and that is what is sending your body all over the place. So you've got more estrogen, that is there in boatloads, and then the lower down we've got less progesterone. That's keeping your central nervous system happy. It's keeping your female reproductive organs cancer free, and you've got the testosterone there, which is helping your joints, your mood, your cognitive function, and all of those are declining at different rates. So then menopause is just one day, and it is the day that falls 12 months exactly after your last period. If you have not had a period for 12 months, you are then considered postmenopause. And let me tell you, prior to being postmenopause, there is not a blood test in this world, or test for that matter, that is going to confirm whether or not you're in perimenopause. It is a very, very common misconception. So another myth is that women go through the menopause transition and then expect all of their symptoms to go away. And unfortunately, sometimes it doesn't. And this is why it's really important to stay on the HRT for as long as you like. Perfectly safe to stay on it for your entire life. And that's why we feel like shit, because this is how your ratio of, let me just move all that out of the way, your ratio of hormones is rising and falling. So it's not that one day they just start declining suddenly. They go on a erratic journey, and so they will be spiking hourly, minute by the minute, every 15 minutes. This is why you're getting your hot flashes in the day and your night sweats, because it is when your estrogen is spiking and why you become symptomatic. So you'll see there we've got through childhood, very, very low, then into our teens when we start our periods, they start ramping up, we're feeling good, all through reproductive years, and then suddenly we hit perimenopause, and they don't just fall suddenly, they go up and down until they're in a steady decline post-menopause. That is normal. So this is really important stuff that every woman should know. So because 51% of the population are women, every single one of us, should we be lucky enough to live that long, will experience the menopause transition. There is no getting away from it. However, not everybody will have some symptoms. A lot of women just go through it and they don't even bat an eyelid, and that should give you some hope. That should give you some confidence around it and a bit of positivity. So the average age of menopause in the UK is 51. However, more and more we're realising that women in their 20s and 30s can actually start going through menopause. It's now being recognised. And it's a result of your ovaries just producing less eggs, therefore less hormones. And that can cause real severe physical and psychological problems, because menopause does not just start in the ovaries, it starts in the brains. Our bodies, when we're going through our menstrual cycles, our bodies are full of estrogen receptors all over our bodies, every cell you can think of, and that's what helps us function and be able to do all the amazing things that our bodies do. And because of that, when we're not getting the estrogen that we need, this is why we become so symptomatic. So symptoms usually last for 4 to 8 years, and it is a transition. It is definitely not a disease. Do not be told otherwise. And I'm sure that these will be familiar with many of you. As you can see, they're all the symptoms that you might experience. Take your pick. They're not in any particular order. You can have a combination of all of them. And this is why I bang on so much about why women should be treated as individuals, because not one woman will share the same set of symptoms as another woman. And this is why you will hear about all these weird and wonderful things, new symptoms that come up all the time. But you'll see in there quite a few common ones. Myself, the insomnia was incredible. The brain fog is the one that really struggled with the most. Insomnia was triggering anxiety at night time, which is something that I had never experienced in my life. And I was waking up, or not waking up, or still being awake at 3 o'clock in the morning, thinking I was having a heart attack, thinking I was going to have a stroke. I was really, really terrified. Acne, I'd always had that, but that got worse. Still got acne. The only 45-year-old I know with acne. I will probably go to my grave with acne, which fairly depressing, but there you go. Never had a hot flash, never had a night sweat. I am the coldest person that ever walked the planet. But yeah, so you'll see from there, if you're experiencing a combination of any of these, it's shit, but it's pretty common. What it does lead to, though, this is where it will lead to the psychological symptoms, which can be the self-sabotage, the depression that may be triggered, the low moods, the rage that creeps in, the desire to run away, the social anxiety. All of those things stem from that, the self-doubt, and can lead into this. And this is really symptomatic of most of the women that I work with will come in to work with me at one stage of this. So it may be that it starts with the change in body shape and the weight gain. Always dieted, kind of know how to diet. I'll just jump on that, lose a few pounds, everything will be fine. It doesn't work anymore. So then they start pushing themselves harder. It must be their fault. And so with that leads to more exhaustion. That leads to cutting the calories even further. That leads to increased brain fog, anxiety, stress, impacts on home, work. Nothing works. Bound to have an effect on the confidence, low self-esteem, starts to threaten relationships with children, parents, partners, work colleagues. Feeling confused and forgetful really affects your confidence at work. If you're somebody who goes in and holds meetings all the time, this was me. I was responsible for about 10 GPs and a whole load of other clinical staff, and I was having to hold meetings and I couldn't even remember what day of the week it was. That really Anyway, the exhaustion, which can come from the insomnia, or a lot of the time you're waking up, you think you've had a great night's sleep, you could have slept for 8 hours, but you're waking up exhausted. And part of the reason for that is that your body isn't as brilliant as absorbing the nutrients from your food as it used to as well. And generally a lack of self-care and recognizing that maybe it's time to take a step back. And see then will be the anxiety that comes from fear of failure, fear of self-sabotage, all of that. And I'm sure that you can relate to that and see how you can fit into one of those slots. Now, there's extreme cases always, and this is why we need to start talking about the menopause and why we need to start taking care of ourselves, because these are facts, right? 80% of women report unmanageable symptoms. 25% of them report those changes as life-changing. Their lives significantly change as a result of menopause. 1 in 2 women will develop osteoporosis. That's bone thinning, bones getting fragile, breaking. That will rapidly increase your aging process. Once you start breaking bones, you know, that can lead to a whole world of trouble with you feeling frail, feeling older. Yeah, so women aged 50 to 55 have the highest divorce rates. They have an increase in eating disorders, which people always associate with younger people, and it's really not the case. It is amongst those ladies going through menopause. And sadly, the highest number of suicides, and I certainly saw this working in the NHS. I just found it mind-blowing how many attempted suicides we had within our practices from women of that age. Not my business to say whether or not it was directly related to the menopause, but there does seem to be a common link there across the whole of the UK. But there's a way, right? So we need to break the cycle. And how do we do that? First of all, what I really should say before we do any of this is meet yourself where you're at. Understand what's going on. Get a symptom checker. You can download them from anyone. What are your symptoms? What are you experiencing? What doesn't feel normal to you? What don't you understand? And then work out, where do you want to be? What is it? Is it a weight loss goal? Is it a health goal? Is it a confidence goal? And then understand why that is important to you, right? Because it can be really easy when we're stuck in the menopause that, along with the self-confidence and the fatigue, the motivation goes. You know, some days you just don't even want to drag yourself out of bed, but you manage to do that, but you've still got a family to look after. You've still got to do all the normal daily shit. So wanting to overcome these symptoms and achieve a goal, you've really got to dig deep and understand why that's important to you, because the minute an excuse comes along, you will ditch your goal and you will put everybody else first, or everyone else's needs first, like you're used to doing. If you take one thing from this, take from it that those days should be gone. It is time for you to put yourself first, right? It's so important. You've just seen the statistics. Your mental health and your physical health is key right now if you want to overcome your menopause symptoms. So when you're thinking about that, think about the cost of staying exactly as you are. So what is the impact that these symptoms are having on your physical health and your mental health? What is the impact having on your friends and your family's relationships? What impact is there on your current quality of life and your future? What are your future goals? Yeah, you're only halfway through your life. We've got a whole life to live, yeah, and we want to live that in the most healthy and exciting way possible. Yeah, we've got a whole future where we become independent again. Let's live it well in strong bodies. And that was why I created the survival to revival method, a really straightforward 7 simple steps to get you from where you are now, feeling like you're just surviving every single day, to get to the point where you are excited about life again and you have energy and you are raring to go. You're making plans, yeah? You're feeling active. That is entirely possible, but it's down to you and your mindset and how seriously you're going to take yourself, and how much you are prepared to invest in yourself and put your needs first. And that's the process we go through, right? Step 1, realize, where are we at? Get a plan, put it into action. Keep clear your goal, visualize it at every single moment of every single day. Never lose sight of where you want to be. Start implementing new daily habits. What are we doing that's not serving us? How can we tweak that for the maximum impact? Validate, as in keep reminding yourself why you are doing this. Make it easy for yourself. Change up those habits with new things that you enjoy. Don't do what you think you should do. Do what works for you. And then we can accelerate, because things are slipping into place, and then start living the life you want to live. And again, these are the ladies that are doing it. These are the ladies who didn't think that was possible, that thought it was all over for them. And it's not always, a lot of time people just think it's about the weight loss, and it's not. It's about finding yourself again and knowing that you're worth it, and knowing that you've got things you want to achieve, whether it's bloody taking back over the boardroom and getting another promotion at work. climbing Mount Bloody Everest, whatever it is, you can absolutely do it, but you have to give yourself that investment of time, self-care, and so forth. And yeah, these ladies are doing that now, and that is why I love my job. Is when I see my final when we finish together, and my clients go off into the world on their own, confident, and they've got all the tools and resilience they need. They don't ever go on another shitty diet, and they never doubt their own self-worth, their judgment, and their confidence, because they know themselves again. So you've got three choices right now. You can do nothing, you can stay as you are, and I totally get that sometimes that feels like the easiest option, and actually it probably is the easiest option. Or you can do all this work yourself. You can take a chance on yourself and you can go it alone, because you absolutely can do that as well. You know what to do. Visualize your goal, work out what your barriers are, work out the things that are going to hold you back and work on them individually. Or you can take the shortcut and you can apply to work with me and see if we're a good fit, and I will take you through the Survival to Revival method, which is my 6-month 7-step program. And if that is something that you are interested in, then you can drop me a little note here, either on Instagram, or you can just drop me a note on the email and we can chat, because I would be really excited about working with you. But there's one thing to note, and that is that I don't just work with anyone. I'm not one of those coaches. I will only work with you if I feel your head is in the right place, if you are committed, if you have got that time to invest in yourself, and you really, really are at that point where this is the only solution for you, right? And you are dedicated to the cause of getting yourself from surviving to living that life that you know you are very, very capable of. And I would be really excited to support you on that. So, ladies, if that is what you fancy, drop me a note here and take care.